Welcome to the FX Factor, where sport meets real life. I'm Kelly, coach, mum, and founder of Fit as FX. And this podcast is all about raising strong, resilient, and passionate kids, whether they live for the game or want nothing to do with it. Each week, we bust myths, drop truth bombs, and share real tools to help parents and teens navigate sport, movement, and everything in between, with less pressure and more purpose. So lace up, let's get into it. You know those days where you just feel stuck? You're tired, distracted, your mood's flat, everything feels heavy. But then you move, you go for a walk, you lift something, you jump around with the kids, and all of a sudden, everything shifts. That is what today's episode is about. How movement changes not just your body, but your energy, your focus, and your state of mind. And how we as parents, teachers, and coaches can use that to help our kids, ourselves, live better. But let's be honest, we're constantly telling kids to do better all the time. Focus harder, listen, try again, be your best. But what are we doing to do better? We expect them to perform at 100% all the time, to be improving, achieving, staying on top. But are we? We tell them to handle stress, but we can't even handle our own. We tell them to stay focused while we're glued to our phones. We tell them to move their bodies while we're too tired to move ours. And I'm not saying this from a pedestal. I'm saying this because I'm guilty of it too. I like to know what I'm working toward. I like to see progress, to feel purpose, to understand the why. And when that clarity isn't there, when there's no clear path or finish line, I get so frustrated. I can feel basically what's the point? But here's the hard truth. Not everyone operates like this. And expecting everyone, including our kids, to think like we do, it just sets us up for disappointment. We're living in a world full of mixed messages and impossible expectations. You've got parents who push for better grades but never show up in the classroom. Parents who drop their kids off at training and don't watch a single session. Teachers who are burnt out and losing their passion. Coaches who maybe shouldn't be coaching. And yet we all expect the kids to perform perfectly, to be the best, to behave, to give it their all. But how can they if we can't even get our own shit together? We've created a culture that demands more from kids while doing less for ourselves. We want them to be resilient, but we crumble under pressure. We want them to be confident, but we tear ourselves apart in the mirror. We want them to listen, but we're not listening to them. That's where the disconnect is. And movement, believe it or not, is one of the best tools we have to close that gap. With nearly 30 years of coaching, I can honestly say that kids don't learn well-being from what we say. They learn it from what they see. They see how we talk to ourselves. They see how we handle being late, being stressed, being disappointed. They feel the energy we bring into the room long before they hear a single word we say. So when we tell them, you need to calm down, but they see us losing our shit over small things, what are we really teaching? When we tell them to take care of themselves, but we never actually stop to take care of us, what are they learning? We're teaching them that success means go harder, do more, don't stop. And they're learning that rest, reflection, or emotion equals weakness. But if we want calm kids, we actually have to be calm. If we want resilient kids, we have to show them what resilience looks like in us. And that means facing our own stuff, not just managing theirs. So before we tell a kid to try harder, maybe we need to ask ourselves, where am I not trying harder? Where am I stuck on autopilot? Where do I need to move? Because our energy becomes their whole example. When kids move, something switches on. It's not about burning energy, it's about balancing it. You can see it in their faces. The kids walk in slouched, quiet, distracted. I see this all the time. But within minutes of moving, their whole body changes. They're awake, they're listening, they're present. Movement clears the clutter. It helps them manage emotion before they even realize they had emotion to manage. And it's not just for kids, it's for us too. You can't think your way out of stress. You've got to move your way through it. We tell kids to regulate, but adults are some of the most dysregulated people out there. Our stress levels, our reactivity, our busyness, it's constant. We can't coach calm from all the chaos. So move first, breathe first, then speak. That's the stuff that builds connection, not just between body and mind, but between you and them. Just think, here's the mirror moment. We want our kids to do better, but what are we doing to be better? We tell them to train hard, but we skip our own workouts. We tell them to focus, but we've got 15 tabs open in our brains of all the things that we have to do. We tell them to handle failure, but we melt down when life doesn't go our own way. And again, I'm not saying this to shame anyone. I'm saying it because I've lived it. I like structure. I like knowing the why. I like clear goals. And when life doesn't line up that, I spiral, I question, I overthink, and I just push harder. But here's what I've realized. Not everyone, not every child, not every athlete, not every human works like that. And that's okay. Sometimes we need to lead with empathy, not expectation. Because leadership isn't barking orders. It's modeling ownership. It's saying, hey, I'm working on this too. I really believe that we have these huge expectations. We all have them. We expect our kids to try harder, listen better, perform stronger. But sometimes those expectations have nothing to do with them and everything to do with us. I see it everywhere. Parents who say that they want their kids to develop and improve, but barely make the time to watch or to support or to even just be there. Parents who want their kids to be independent, but won't let them even train, play or compete without running commentary from the sidelines. Parents who want focus and effort, but just yelled at their kids in the car on the way to training. Then you've got coaches, good people, good intentions, who set high standards, but never actually communicate what those standards are. They expect accountability, but the kids and parents don't even know what's expected until it's too late. And clubs, great community, big heart, but sometimes they forget that communication is leadership. They have all these great ideas, but they come out when it's too late. Meanwhile, the kids are just trying to keep up. They're standing there in the middle of all these mixed messages, trying to perform, trying to please everyone. No wonder they're overwhelmed. We expect them to be switched on, composed, confident, resilient, all at once, while the adults around them can't even get on the same page. And again, I'll put my hand up, I'm guilty too. I love a plan. I love clear goals. I love knowing why I'm working so hard. But not everyone, especially not kids, operates like that. And when they don't, that difference can really test your patience. It's easy to slip into frustration, to think, why don't they care as much as I do? But here's the thing, they're kids, they're learning. And our job as parents, coaches, mentors isn't to project our pressure onto them. It's to provide the clarity and calm that helps them thrive. So before we pile on expectations, maybe we ask ourselves, have I actually explained what I expect clearly? Have I shown up the way I want them to show up? Am I supporting or am I just supervising? Because no matter what system they're in, school, sport, home, the one constant is this. Kids can't perform at their best if the adults around them are performing at their worst. Just really reflect on that because it's really important. We've built a world where achievement equals identity. If you're not the best, you're not enough. But success isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about learning, failing, adjusting, and trying again. That's what I love, what movement teaches. But success isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about learning, falling, adjusting, and trying again. That's why I love what movement teaches, because it's honest. You can't fake effort. You can't shortcut consistency, and you can't scroll your way to strength. Movement teaches you to fail and start again. It teaches humility, grit, and patience. So what if we celebrated that more? What if we praised our kids for how they handle disappointment, not just how they celebrate wins? What if we told them, I'm proud of how you kept going, instead of only, I'm proud that you won? That's how we raise balanced, brave kids, not burnt out ones. Here's my challenge to you. The next time you catch yourself asking your kid to do better, stop and ask yourself, where can I do better? If you want your kid to move more, move with them. If you want your team to focus, show them what focus looks like. If you want your child to be resilient, let them see you struggle and keep going. And if you're tired, if you're stretched, that's okay. Just start small. Take 3 minutes to move, 3 minutes to breathe, 3 minutes to reset your state, because the body always leads the brain. Our kids don't need more pressure. They need more proof. Proof that growth isn't perfect. Proof that effort matters. Proof that adults can change too. We've got to stop expecting our kids to carry the standards that we're not living. If we want the next generation to be grounded, we have to ground ourselves first. Let's stop telling them to get their act together and start getting ours together. Let's show them what balance looks like. Let's show them what effort looks like. Let's show them that well-being isn't a speech, it's a lifestyle. Because movement changes everything. Your energy, your mood, your mindset, your connection. And when we move, we remind ourselves and our kids that we're built to grow. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't overthink it. Just move first, think later. Movement changes your whole perspective on a situation. Movement helps you handle so many things. And if your kids are watching you move, they're watching you grow, they're watching you become a stronger, more resilient parent, a stronger, more resilient coach, all those things, they can see your growth. So imagine how much more they will grow. It's so important, and it's just one simple thing. Just move, 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 move. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thanks for listening to the FX Factor. If this one hit home, share it with another parent, coach, or teacher who might need to hear it too. And remember, the next time you want your kid to do better, ask yourself, where can you do better first? If you loved today's episode, hit follow, share it with a friend, and pass it on to someone who needs to hear it. Got questions, stories, a parenting win, or an absolute total flop? I want to hear it all. Send them through so we can tackle them in future episodes. This is the FX Factor. Raising confident kids, building resilience, and having a laugh along the way. See you next week.